and our bird is not far off being finished. So finally, for the fine bits of carving, we can turn to finishing off the feet and undercutting, finishing off the head and trimming in the beak and so on, and cleaning up everything as we go along. It's quite important. I'm not going to put feathers on the front as such, so make sure these are lightly faceted so that the grain comes out. Then we're just left with the feathers at the back. So on with the final touches. Starting with the legs and talons, we want to excavate at the back to lengthen them a little bit into the body. And it's really important when you carve the legs to actually come round the form like this, round the form and then undercut. Don't just concentrate on the space. And look at the way it's pivoting on my thumb here. So gradually undercut from one side and then from the other, going round the leg. And you'll see that eventually the two will meet and you have a nice hole developing. And the hole develops because you've come round the form and into it. It's really important that you don't just work the hole. Work the leg, work the form into the space, and the hole will take care of itself. So we can work on the inside of the toes now, between each toe, and as the form comes round to the fence post top, we can start undercutting. I'm using a very narrow 1/8 of an inch 3mm flat gouge, and it's quite easy to undercut when you're cutting across the grain on end grain like this. The talons themselves are separated from the actual toes, and we need to make a feature of those talons. So here I am separating the toes from the talons using a gouge upside down that matches the curve of the talons themselves. Once I've got the profile, the roundness of the claw at the top, I can then start bringing that side down to give shape to the very front view. Now the claws, the talons, come to a very sharp, mean little point, and we really want to emphasize that. This bird is nothing other than a sort of little killing machine, and it's got very mean, very sharp claws. Even if we're exaggerating them a bit, they're actually smaller than they appear in this carving in real life, but we need to emphasize their strength by making them slightly bigger. So as I've got the shape correct, what I'll do is I'll sand them and actually polish the surface of the claw, and then I can start undercutting. So here I'm undercutting. Now if you undercut enough, then obviously you're going to go through, and you need to remember the shape of the claw. It's undercut more here than where it is a little bit above. So be careful with this, don't lever, make sure you're cutting and pulling out that waste wood. Strength, you want to keep the claws attached to the fence post if you can, but if they come away, like here, it doesn't really matter. We have long grain going through them and they should be quite strong enough.